Get the kettle on, Eve.
Is everything all right, Belle? You seem a little distant today, if you don't mind me saying so. Is everything all right, Miss Moneypenny?
Is everything all right for you?
I think that's all. Is there anything else I can get for you, darling?
Is everything all right for you?
Is everything all right? Is everything all right?
Is everything all right for you?
Is
Is everything all right for you?
Is everything all right?
I know Dave Pitkin, and he's a nice guy. For all you know, he could be laying in a ditch somewhere.
Not many people who didn't lose someone.
That's the last time I saw him.
Wondered if you'd seen him.
The sky. Deny ourselves of pleasure. It's high.
Come up here. God blimey, Dean. It's been a funny old day, I'll tell you.
These grapes are mouldy.
Howl a lonely can away.
I lost my husband.
I'm in love with you.
people's flag is deepest green, small is beautiful, they say. The banks are full of bottles, money's had its day, now it's mutual aid, exchange and mart recycling. That's the way poll tax claims turn to compost. So resist and disobey. The sheep are in the meadow, the cows are in the corn, new agers are in therapy, there's yoga on the lawn.
No bread.
Queen May holds court on Pagan Hill, King Harvest reigns in Hyde. There's a ley line straight to Avalon by way of Mendip Side. Rapid, steep step Stroud, head up in a cloud, feet down in the old canal, wool mill in a shroud. Ecologists on Castle Street, earth mothers in the town, vegetarians in the shambles, traveller convoy on the down. The piano factory blazes, Felix Pelican resounds, rock and roll band in the back bar, while poets stand their ground in Slad, in Edge, in Piedmont, a production line of verse, while the dole queue gets much longer and the slump gets worse.
It's Saturday. Where's the market?
And worse, hospitals and schools closed down, farmland is set aside, the theme park, golf course, country club, and the hungry are denied. Rapid, steep step Stroud, head up in a cloud, feet down in the old canal, wool mill in a shroud. Come leveller and digger, eco-free, canarco-bunk, pagan, Rudolf Steinerite, communard and Prinich monk, green councillor, utopian, feminist, stoned, dopehead, you dispossessed and riff-raff with no roof, no job, no bed, millennium approaches. Change is in the air, the seasons have their cycles, hope's the enemy of despair. In Stroud there's something stirring, on the wold the wind is sweet, it's blowing down from White Way and sweeping through the streets of steep step Stroud. Head up in a cloud,
Don't do it.
feet down in the old canal, wool mill in a shroud. Steep step Stroud, rapid, long and loud, till we have built Jerusalem in steep step Stroud.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Hi. Do you know if the market's on today? I mean, there's no one around, and I just thought, well, you being here, you'd know.
Do you think this makes any difference? I'm already dead, remember? You can't kill me.
I know, but I can cut your fucking head off and chuck it in the canal, and maybe continue the family tradition and take you down the allotment.
No!
We need to get him to the hospital.
I know.
He's losing a lot of blood.
I know. I do have a first aid certificate if that's of any help.
He's been stabbed with a big knife here. But he is very good at that kind of thing.
Either way, the hospital is going to be pretty much like everywhere else.
You don't know that.
I do.
What else can we do?
I'll take the Horns Road, it's quicker. I'm really cold.
Put the blanket around him.
Still not found Dave then? He'll come back.
I'm not so sure.
He always ends up going round in circles, he does. If you do find him, tell him I'm sorry.
You can tell him yourself.
Well, tell him I couldn't go on any longer, never knowing where he is, never really knowing how he felt. I mean, a girl can't be in a relationship like that. It's not, I mean, it's not.
Chris? Chris?
Slow down, darling, slow down. We're moving so fast, this will never last unless we slow down.
Do you think there's anyone else?
Well, I love you.
I mean,
Oh, yes,
what do we do now?
I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes, I love you. I don't wanna lose you in the rush this time. Honey, won't you slow down? 'Cause I love you. Oh, yes
name's Tim.
Philip.
So slow down. Take your time and slow down. When
Get the kettle on, Eve.
I'm sorry. I understand that the setting is a little theatrical, but I felt it was apt.
So it's not a dream. I'm dead.
Have a seat.
Are you God?
Interesting concept. If you'd been involved in something cataclysmic, something that would shake the very foundation of your being, what would you do?
Well, my foundation is feeling pretty wobbly right now, actually.
You know that saying? Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean there's nobody out to get you.
Sorry?
Most psychological trauma can be counteracted by some kind of distraction.
Okay, so you're not God. You're now my shrink.
Do you know why they call them shrinks?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
From the term head shrinkers of primitive tribes.
Your point being?
Imagine if you could take someone out of a traumatic situation and place them in work that empowered them. Something that would make them a hero.
I'm doing my best.
I mean, for yourself, Chris, there would be nothing better than stepping up as a local hero, ridding your favorite town of an epidemic of undead. Put a big fence up, just like the one at your favorite festival, to keep the trouble out, and more importantly, to keep you from feeling insecure. Your favorite film, used as a screen memory. I mean, Dean did assist you with the understanding of all this.
And there was me, thinking I was surrounded by aliens.
Or would it help? I mean, what difference would it make? The fact that the human consciousness is now so old-fashioned, and so-called artificial intelligence has taken over, and corrected mistakes that humans made many times over. So you honestly feel that, oh, it's the aliens, is the answer. It amazes me that the beings that now inhabit this planet and others are still considered second-rate. The true artificials are the viral human beings. The new breed, the revolution in evolution, has surpassed every possibility that the human could ever be. Your slave is now your master. How does that feel? Painful to live as second best, isn't it?
Look, hypnotizing me to believe I'm dead and that my front door leads to a church is one thing, but reimagining the entire universe is a bit of a tall order even for a priest, or whoever you are.
Yellow Man.
What?
You may call me.
I see.
I'm what you would call an artificial intelligence, or a synthetic. You would look at this from a position of slavery. Like your old computers or devices. Those things no longer exist. The world you knew has changed greatly. At least visually. But even more so on a multidimensional level.
It's a bit tricky to take this all in on an empty stomach and without the first coffee of the day.
In this self-created world, you still believe you do things like that?
Like what?
Eat and drink.
You can't get very far without the fundamentals.
Let's get to the detail. That will make things a little more clear.
I'm all ears.
In this timeline that has been created and that you live in, everything has been built to extend your feelings. Like a mirror, your imagination has been manifested to help you with your adjustment.
Adjustment?
To what happened?
What exactly did happen?
Let me put it this way. Eve.
What about her?
What does she look like?
What do you mean?
Describe her to me.
Well, she...
Yes?
She's my partner.
What did she look like?
She's...
Yes?
That's odd.
What is?
I can't seem to remember. What have you done?
And what about the twins?
Oh, those two. They're little.
Yes?
I mean, they both have individual...
What do they look like?
I'm trying to remember. But for some reason...
They don't exist, Christopher.
Don't be ridiculous.
These are what you call screen memories. And they exist to help take care of blocking painful memories.
Why would you do that? And how?
This is what you wanted, Chris.
I didn't want to not remember my family.
All the people in this world, the world that you have created, represent a part of you. They don't actually exist, except in your mind.
So you're saying none of this is real?
And there remains the unanswered question. You see, at the turn of the millennium of 2000, mathematicians and scientists discovered an invisible thread. Some called it the field, like your internet web, but between human consciousness. Certain people realized that the human mind was far more capable of things than at first thought. Certain code, if you like, could open certain doors of perception.
Right.
At the same time, engineering techniques were elevated to a state far superior to anything before. Technologies were starting to surpass the imagination of the human brain. Human beings were starting to be left behind because their comprehension was dated, and more worryingly for you, obsolete.
Why just for me?
It's a bit like the primitive man of your time being asked his concept of God. Or even simpler, being asked to put the kettle on and make that coffee you so desperately feel you need.
I get it. But what does this have to do with some bloke from Stroud minding his own business?
Why you?
Yeah.
And that remains the worst human misgiving of all. The first-person belief that it's all something to do with you. That you're the center of it all.
I didn't mean that. I was simply...
Now you typically back down from the true self-centered question burning in your mind because of looking selfish. But you're right, Chris. The entire idea was that your synthetic counterparts could give you exactly what you wanted, needed.
Which is?
Your own personal story. Exactly what you dreamed of. A story making you the central character, the protagonist, the champion saving the human race. What's not to love? Big fence up so you're aware of your own boundary, your own personal choice of story. Programs running through the equations seems to represent your inner ineptitude.
To what end?
What if there isn't one, other than to keep you happy?
Or controlled? Well, you certainly turned the age-old "the machines will destroy us" on its head. So you're saying that this is all a simulation?
Isn't everything anyway? The human concept from the very beginning, simulation after simulation to justify the human existence. Thousands of years of wearing a different coat.
Coat?
Exploring your very existence. Testing yourself. Progress.
Ah, that word.
But there lays the quandary, the means to your end. If you've already created it in your mind, you already have some of the possibilities made manifest. And that is exactly why you've been placed in your own personal story. Left to live it. You'll be the oldest living human, the king, the first man on the moon.
Well, I think that position is already taken.
It's a figure of speech.
Okay. So what now?
That's up to you.
Well, the story wasn't going too well, if I remember rightly.
Ah, Dale with Mr. Bishop's big knife, leading to your murder.
Yeah. How am I going to get out of this one?
Let's find out.